Having been zapped by an extraterrestrial probe of uncertain origin, Captain Picard is now what? Is he dreaming? Is he fantasizing? Is he remembering? Has he been pulled through a portal to another space or even another time? He finds himself living the life of a man named Cayman on a planet unfamiliar to him previously. He ends up having a family, living a lifetime, learning to play the flute. This is 1992 Star Trek: The Next Generation, The Inner Light. The Inner Light, very similar to the later episode Masks, which I just recently reviewed for this channel. The Inner Light and Masks have this in common. They deal with long dead civilizations which use their technology to keep some remnant of their memory alive. In Masks, it was the archive that began changing parts of the Federation Starship Enterprise into bits of an ancient city, recycling characters long dead inside the mind of Commander Data and playing out the elaborate theology of their culture. What they chose from the D'Arcy system to preserve of their culture was the story of Musaka and her lover, the sun and the moon, and that cycle and all the things related to it. Certainly the archive was filled with more stuff, but it begins with that. The Inner Light involves Captain Picard being zapped by the alien probe and being transformed or pulled away to another life. In the course of about 30 minutes or so, while unconscious on the bridge, being ministered to by Beverly Crusher and Nurse Ogawa and the crew, angst-ridden, Picard ends up living an entire lifetime, essentially, manifesting on this distant planet, finding himself in an alien but humanoid environment, living a life of a younger man who is married. Over the course of the episode, we will see him grow old. He will grow older, he will have children, he will have grandchildren, and steadily we begin to piece together what has happened in the life of Cayman. What has happened? The planet that he is on has been dying steadily and slowly. Environmental, climatic change means the destruction of water, of the basic ecosystem, of all the necessities for life, and they do not have the means, the technological means, to prevent their destruction, to escape their planet. We find out they have primitive rocket technology. They might be able to get something into space, but they're not going to be able to escape their planet or stop the extinction of their species. This ends up being what Captain Picard has been zapped with. The probe that at the end we find out they launched into space to preserve something has zapped him and caused him to live this other life. Of course, this is one of the most popular episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It is very well done. Of course, again, it will be repeated, at least that theme of ancient cultures trying to preserve themselves, and I've always loved how Star Trek is rooted in the past, the present, and the future. And so that even extraterrestrial civilizations, we often get archaeological references to that, to historical references, where this all happens in the cosmic scheme of history. But this planet, unlike the planet later in Masks, chose to preserve itself, not by preserving first and foremost its theology. We're not even sure, given their level of technology, how much information about them they're able to include in this probe. But they do pass on instead of high-minded things, the basic experience of what it meant to live and die as one of them, to live in their culture, among their people, as one of them, within a family structure, learning everything you could about society, their society towards the end, at its height, by having him live this life towards the end of the life cycle of their planet. It really is a very cerebral episode, a very good quality episode. Star Trek: The Next Generation in these seasons was some of the highest quality television ever produced. And again, though they will repeat a very similar theme when they get to the episode Masks the following season, nevertheless, the fascinating way the different alien cultures preserved themselves. Clearly, the one was more advanced than the other, was able to preserve more, but also the choice based on their value system of preserving the theology first and foremost, or preserving the everyday normal being's life on their planet. And it makes it really stands out as interesting and good, high quality science fiction that delves into those sorts of issues. So I have to rank it very high. I love this episode. I love almost all the Next Generation episodes, but these ones are particularly good. That's why I'm thinking of them and reviewing them. What did you think? The Inner Light. I put a little flute at the end, but I don't have a recording of one. Peace and long life.